recorded and posted eventually.
It's done. Present this.
Okay, it should be live now.
Advait, I can share the...
Yeah, I made you co-host, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Advait. Yes, we are ready, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Advait. My name is Ankur. Hare Krishna. I'm one of the members from the festival team that serves under the guidance of Hanspriya Mataji. We all wanted Hanspriya Mataji to join for this starting session as we are embarking on a 6-day festival. But unfortunately, she could not join. I have been given this opportunity to MC this session. And I would like to read out her message to all of you. She says, quote, Pranams, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, good evening. Happy Janmāṣṭamī 2020. Very warm welcome and thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today as we kick off the festivity of Janmāṣṭamī 2020 at ISKCON Silicon Valley. We are pleased to be able to welcome and grateful to those of you who have been with us for years now, as well as those of you who are new to the ISV virtual community. For the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohanji, Sriman Mahaprabhu, and Sri Lakshmi Narsimhadev, we would like to serve the community by offering variety of festive activities, which includes garland making, altar decoration, deity worship, kids entertainment, cooking, workshops, Krishna Katha, drama, kirtan, and much more. Please accept our humble offering, sit tight, and enjoy the week of celebrations. With immense gratitude, Hansapriya Devi Dasi, on behalf of the festival team. So today is a very special occasion as we are embarking on this journey, 6-day festival. So I like to think of it as a flight. We are all about to board the flight, and our captain is none other than Her Grace Krishangi Mataji.
Oh, Krishna.
So this is our first session in this 6-day festival. And let me say a few words about our captain. She's an expert garland maker who has been rendering this service for many years. At ISV, she leads a team of garland makers that make exquisitely beautiful Sunday garlands. She is known for her perfection, and for that, she is willing to put in a tremendous amount of hard work. She leads with example and in the mood of servant of the servant. Apart from garlands, she is an expert cook. She is the mother of a wonderful daughter named Monisha, who is part of the broadcast team that is responsible for hosting and streaming all these sessions. Before I hand over to our captain, I would like to add a reminder. This is a 1-hour session, so we have back-to-back sessions till 8:30 p.m. So we must finish every session on time. That means this flight on which you all have boarded must land by 5:55 p.m. If it becomes apparent that it is going to take longer, then we will have to request the captain to do emergency landing. Just joking. But don't panic. Hopefully the captain will share some safety advice. Welcome aboard. Hare Krishna. Krishangi Mataji.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to, to be with you all and show a little bit of what we have learned as a group. Me and along with a couple of my group member will join to show how to make garlands. And I'm really grateful for the all the wonderful garland makers, for Radha Madan Mohan, who has been serving for past 10 years with so much of love and affection. So I seek, they are serving under the guidance of Ruby Mataji, and I seek Ruby Mataji and all the devotees' blessings. And with your blessings, we could be able to show something what we are trying to serve. And also, I'm really grateful for the organizers to arrange this, garland making session. So I'll be sharing my screen before we start the garlands. I put together a few slides just to show garland making is a very long hours, and as you can see at the end of the day when you decorate Radha Madan Mohan with the beautiful flowers, all your several hours of effect will be like you will be very happy to see it. And so what is I have put a few points. This is by His Holiness Radhanath who addressed the garland making devotees at Chowpatty to set up the mood of garland making. Ideally, the garland making is a deep meditation. So even a one mala offered with the devotion, that will please Krishna. Basically, the garland is Radharani herself collects various flowers from the garden and she makes beautiful garland and offer it to Krishna. And we are this is along with Radharani so many whom are in the spiritual world, in intimate associates of the Supreme Lord, they also offer this garland seva. So by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we got to do this service. So the garland service should be offered as a mood of servant of the servant. And it's also helps us to be united. So it's a long hours of stringing the flowers together. So we need several devotees to come together, and then we also have different kinds of flowers, like some of them big, some of them smaller, some fragrance flowers, all varieties, whatever we get. And similarly, all different devotees, every devotee have different skills. So we try to integrate those different skills and string it to garland. And this is basically provides the devotee association and also deep meditation in offering these beautiful garlands to Radha Madan Mohan. And Srila Prabhupada says that this is a Vaikuntha consciousness. When we think that every devotee who is involved in this seva, everybody puts their best to offer the garlands to Madan Mohan. And when we think and help each other, and that way, whatever we make, that comes as really beautiful in terms of Krishna's eyes. But if we have little tinge of a consciousness that, okay, well, I'm the best garland maker, I make the best, then the conscious, even though externally because of our skills, the garland might look very beautiful, but in Krishna's eyes, it's all thorns. So the garland service really gives us the mood of a humble servant, and that is the way we serve. So as you can see in this picture, Maharaj is offering, Aarti to Radha Madan Mohan, and you can see different varieties of flowers. So whatever is available with us, we can use those different kinds of flowers and string it as a garland and offer it to Madan Mohan, because he's a Vanamali. He accepts anything with love and affection, whatever we collect, and we offer it to him. He just sees the consciousness. He doesn't see whether they are stringed properly or any of those. With that, I will request the other member, Trilokini, to recite one of these beautiful slokas. Then we'll move on to the making. Yeah, thank you.
Mataji, can I share the verses here?
Yes. Can you see the screen, Trilokini?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
The slides are not moving.
Yes.
Can you
moving.
We see Prabhupada picture.
Oh, I'm sorry. Stop. Can you see now?
Yes.
Yes.
We are on Vanamali.
Yes. So I was talking about like how Maharaj offers the Arati and Krishna is a, Vanamali. He offers anything, we make it with various kinds of flowers, whatever is available around us, especially for Janmāṣṭamī, just make an effort to make the garland and offer it to Krishna. Yeah, Trilokini, you can continue. Trilokini Mataji, or yeah, noted. Thank you.
Namo Pankaj Nabhayo, Namo Pankaj Maline, Namo Pankaj Netraya, Namaste Pankajangaye. In this verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.22, Queen Kunti is comparing different parts of Krishna to lotus flower. Yeah. Next slide. This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.21.5. This verse is actually called, is described Rupa Madhurya of Lord Sri Krishna. So I am trying to recite this verse. Barhapidam natavadabapuhu karnaya karnikaram bibrate vasaha kanakakapisham Vaijayantim chamalam ran venu radhara sudhaya purayan gopa vrindaranyam sapadaramanam pravishad gita kirtihi. So in this verse, the gopis actually describing the beauty of Lord Sri Krishna, and it's a very famous verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. You can note it. Okay. So in this verse, it is from a bhajan that is called Radha Krishna Pranamur Jugala Kishore. So in that bhajan, the Acharya is praying, Gathiya Mala Mala Devadohar Gale Adhare Tuliya Divo Kurpurotambule. After stringing together garlands of multi-flower, I will place them around their necks and I will offer tambula scented with comfort to their lotus mouths.
Thank you, Trilokini. Now Vrinda will give some outline on the benefits of making these garlands in maybe 5 minutes will take. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So now we'll just begin with the certain benefits of making garlands. The first and foremost is that it helps us to meditate on Krishna. So when we're making garlands, we think that what patterns Krishna will like and what Radharani must have offered him or what the gopis must have made. So it really brings us closer to Krishna. And also it also gives us association with the other garland makers as well as the pujari, because then we will talk to the pujaris. They'll tell us that we should go for thinner garlands or lighter ones and what. So we get to know their mood, they get to know our mood, which really helps all of us to together move forward. Krishna. Second is it attracts devotees. As we all must have heard, Vaishika Maharaj, he always says this, whenever he enters the temple, the first thing he notices is that's the garland. So similarly, particularly in case of new devotees, and from many people's personal opinion, it's like the first thing we notice are the beautiful garlands on the deities. So of course that attracts them a lot. And then third is the mode of goodness, because they are very nice and fragrant, and then they reduce stress. So that's through that our mind, it just becomes calmer and we sort of progress towards the sattva gun. And next are the other benefits that are like they are creative outlets, because we're always working on patterns and designs, and so it helps us to be more creative and it reduces the stress and purifies the air. Okay, the next. So they are the different flowers offered to Krishna, and it just helps us to communicate our love towards Krishna, because the entire process of garland making is just all about putting all the love in those beautiful garlands and then offering them to Krishna. Yeah, so next. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, and now last we'll see that selecting flowers for garlands. So the main point is that the flowers should be beautiful and fragrant, and the ones that should not be used are the ones that are withered or dried up, which are non-fragrant, and particularly the red hibiscus, in the Prabhupada Lilamrit, it's mentioned as the tree of sorrow. So we usually don't use red hibiscus to offer in Krishna's garlands. And now just a small things that the stems, they should be firm and sturdy, because when we are like putting the needle through it, it should be able to withstand the needle and thread. And the main part is the roses part, that for the roses you need to like press its sepal, that's the base, and just check that if it's good enough to hold all the petals and if it's fresh enough. So yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vrinda. Now we'll see some of the how to make garlands. So if you have flowers, we'll start with the petals. Basically, this is something we put together. You remove the rose petals and fold it on the backwards, and then you put it in the needle in a circular way. If you have needles and if you have flowers, you can start doing it along with the Rohini. Rohini will show you how to put these petals in the needle.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you, Krishangi Mataji, for this opportunity. So I'll be showing how to fold the petals so then you can string them in the garland. Okay. So first, to hold the needle, you can hold it like this with your pointer, like this, and you take the petal, you fold it like this.
Mataji, are you able to pin Rohini's screen? Because I mean, on the cell phone, I can't pin her screen.
Yeah, she's pinned, Mataji. That's spotlighted. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. So you will hold the needle like this, and you take your petal, and you will fold it like this. And according to size, you will rip the top and string it and then put it in the needle like this. So this white part should be facing outside. So we will do a couple of petals like this to make a circle like this. It should be the same size in a round. So again, you put it through the needle like this. Then you take another petal. Like this, and you pinch out the top part according to size, and then you put it through the needle. Then you take another one. So in one round, depending on the size, you can have about 5 or 6 petals in one round. So here we have one round of petals. So for my size, I had 5 petals. Yeah. And then for the next layer, you can keep going. This. So all the petals you put should be at least the same size so that the round looks perfect.
Hare Krishna, Rohini.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Would you like to entertain questions right now or later?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can take questions.
So there is a question. I think this is Rup Manjari Mataji, I guess. She's asking, what is the reason that the top part of the petal is torn off?
So, Krishangi Mataji.
Yeah. Prabhu, maybe I will help with the answering. Rohini can keep showing so that those who are, because she has to show a couple of patterns. So basically we are ripping off the top. If you put the top, what happens? It piles up one egg above the other. So as Rohini is showing, you don't want to see gaps between the layers. So by putting the full one, it makes a layer and there will be a huge gap between the layers and then it doesn't look nice. So when you pinch off, you are just making the circle and the gap will be very minimal and it is compact. Is that helpful, Mataji?
Mataji, if they are smaller size petals, then do we still have to rip it off, or it's just fine?
If it depends on the size of the garland. For example, we have Radha Madan Mohan, we have Radharani and Mahaprabhu. So usually what we do, Radharani, we have to do a very thin garland. So the way to do is when you take a full rose, you have the outer layer of the rose is very big. The inner layer, as you go inside, the petals are smaller. So there are two ways to do it. Either you can collect the smaller petals and make it for Radharani and use the outer petals and make it for Krishna. So that way we don't waste any of those petals. And alternately, like you have option of at home, we have all the deities are on the same size and you want to, make it a thinner one, this can be used as a way to make it. And the rose size also, widely variable. Some roses are very big and that time the garland will be like really very, very thick. So that may not be, that will be very heavy on Krishna. So you want to, remove a couple of them on the top. So now Rohini, I think if some of you are familiar with this pattern, can we move on to one more step? If you are okay with that?
Yes, Mataji.
So as I mentioned, you can use any of those. Yes, Rohini, you can continue. You can continue with the ribbons if you want to show them, and then mixing the petals and the ribbon.
So if you all have a ribbon, it can be any color. So to put it, you will just, according to size, you can fold it like this. So like for this one, it should be this size. It shouldn't be sticking out. So it will come into a perfect round. So for that one, you'll fold it like this. And you can cut it. Like that. Then you just put it in the needle. And basically in one round, you can put 6 ribbons, depending on the size of the ribbon. Some ribbons are wide and some ribbons are very thin. You can put about 6. And if it's too thick, you can put maybe 5.
Mataji, I don't have a ribbon, Mataji.
So she's ideally showing where the concept here is we try to show as many patterns as we could cover. So once if there are various ways to put the ribbons as well. This is the simplest way. Because sometimes festival, there are various reasons to use all of those additional material. One is, so in case if it is festival, you can basically make it a little bit glittery. That looks kind of different style than regular. And also sometimes if we have less of flowers and you want to really make a nice garland. So whatever material we have, we just put it and then make a garland. So the purpose is just to show a couple of different materials, how you can put it in a needle and then you can join them together to make a garland, if that helps. Yes. Now,
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
There is a question from Kalakeli Mataji.
Yeah.
When you put the second layer of petals, does it have to be exactly on top of the bottom layer, or you put the top layer in between the gaps of bottom layers?
You put between the gaps. Rohini, you want to show the petal one?
Yeah, Mataji.
So it's not exactly on the top because the corners are like cup shaped. So if you try to fill in the cup shape one above the other, they tend to kind of, make a layers and it will be like straight lines. But if it is good to put in between the cups when you start with the second layer.
So if you see these two are here, and then I'll put the third layer in between that. So this one went in between these two.
So you could also start putting the ribbons in between the petals, and then you can fill in with the petals as well. So if you want to make it kind of mix up whatever you have, you want to show the ribbon in between the petals, Rohini?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
So we'll take one petal like this, then according to size, so it will be this size. Cut this. Then you put it through this. And then you can continue with the petals around.
Yeah. So when you're putting the petals, it's always nice to turn your needle. When you go to the next petal, slightly turn your needle and then keep putting the petals. That really helps. So similarly, if you're really artistic, these thin layer of laces can be made as a nice rose. And then you can put them in between the petals. So if some of you all trying simultaneously, if you want to show your pattern and if you want to get any feedback, we would be happy to help. Thank you, Rohini.
Yes,
And this is for mostly bigger garlands. Rohini is one of the best. We have group of devotees who are really excellent in everything what they do. Nidhi Mataji, Rohini Mataji, and Pratibha, Kalindi. We are very good devotees, and so this is for a bigger garland. Now Rohini will move on to how to make Gajra. If you want to make it in a smaller, thinner way for Radharani's Gajra, you don't want to make it such a thick, thick garland. So for that, we basically use smaller flowers.
yeah. So for Gajra, we usually use the mini roses, and it will be the same pattern. So for Radharani's Gajra size, it's about this much, like this. So it will be the same way we folded the previous petals, like this. And according to size, you will rip this out.
So you prefer to use small roses, Mataji, for the Gajra?
Yes, Mataji. And if you don't have small roses, there is some small petals inside the roses which you can use.
So the small roses basically gives uniform, very beautiful shape. So that way it really comes very nicely. You don't have to really make any alterations. As Rohini is showing, you can keep adding a little bit more, Rohini, if you wish.
Okay.
And if in case if you don't have small roses, yeah, as Rohini mentioned, the inner part of the rose petals will be helpful. So basically, it's kind of practice. In case if somebody is trying for the first time and, even the shape is a little bit here and there, please don't, get discouraged. It comes by practice. We had really Kamal Mataji, who really, she was very keen in learning it. And first a few times it didn't come, but then most of us, the first few times the shape will be not that much. And then finally she made the best garland for, Nrsimhadev. So it's just the practice. There is no, technique or anything involved in that. So if you keep doing one needle every week or, often, you will have this, needles done in a very nice way.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. There's a question.
Yes.
Let me know if this was already asked.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can we reuse the base of the roses in another garland creatively instead of discarding?
Yeah, for sure. The rose stems, everything can be used. Only, as long as if it is not offered and if you don't want to waste any of those, sometimes it depends on whom we are offering as well. Because if we have to, Krishna accepts leaves, everything. Some of these, for example, if we try to use rose stems, they have thorns. So we don't want to, use such something which is really harder. As far as possible, nice fragrant flowers. If we don't have access, the leaves. And if we want to use, the stems can be used. For example, in Mayapur, if you see, they always have a hanging. I can show you when in few minutes time how the stems can be efficiently used. So if you are making few latkans and if you want to join them in a row, basically you can use the stem. And sometimes if you have scarcity of flowers and if you want to make a garland, you can just put them as a gap fillers. I hope some of you got this pattern. Can we, if you are okay with it, can we move on to the next pattern, or you would like to see a little bit more of this pattern?
Mataji, I was making this with the ribbon in between. Do you think it is okay?
1 second, Advait, maybe you can spotlight whomever is done, so that way it will be nice to see them.
Yeah, who was speaking? Oh, Sudhiri Mataji, okay.
Yes. Yeah, so your ribbon should be a little bit further, Mataji. And the way you fold the ribbon, you are folding it like, you can just little bit twist and then put it. So it will have the, I can show you, give me a second. The ribbon size should be shape of your petal size. That looks good. Little bit it should come out. And also when you are putting the ribbon, you make a little bit of twist instead of, for example, folding it like this. Can you see me, Mataji?
I can't see you. Yeah, you can pin your screen. Yeah.
So instead of folding it straight like this, and then putting it, you take it, you twist a little bit. Do you get, now it gives the shape of the petal. Do you see the shape, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, I got it.
And then when you're putting in the needle, this portion, you fold it like this so that you maintain this shape and then you put it in the needle.
Okay, okay. Got it. You fold it into half kind of
Yes.
and then put it sideways.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that it's not like, flat like this.
Okay.
Because when you keep adding the flowers, then this will look like it
Yeah.
doesn't stand up. So you
Got it.
basically fold it like a twist, and
Mhm.
then when you're putting in the needle, make a thinner at the edge,
Mhm.
and then put it in the needle.
Yeah. Sure, Mataji. I'll change it. Thank you.
Yes.
Mataji, there is a question from Sumati Mataji. Is it
Yes.
possible to see any already made to know what the finished product of what we are working on would look like?
So the concept of this workshop is not just to make one garland and show it. We are basically trying to show the patterns. At the end, we can, while doing along with us, we can put it in a string. So then you will know how it comes. Then when you're doing it, we can, ideally use these technique to make a longer garland. So we will be moving on a little bit more patterns, and then we will string them together. Is that okay, Mataji? That's nice, Manjula Kanta Mataji. Yes, so Manjula Kanta Mataji had used a beads in between. So that is also a nice way of making it, where you can basically, it also gives different way of doing the garlands.
Mataji, I have done some leaves, but thread didn't come properly, Mataji.
But this is nice, Mataji. So this is another way of doing, like you put the petals this way, and also you can mix up. So you can put different, leaves or flowers or different color ribbons, so that you can make a garland multicolored. That is nice, Anuradha Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
If anyone else is available to show, or we can move on to the next one. So those are that is one way of putting the petals. Now we will move on to add the petals in a little bit different way. Can you show this? So I had collected a few flowers here. So basically it's kind of pattern. Suppose if you have a mums, how to put a mums in a circular way. So first thing is the stem should be cut in same size. So you have these stems. As far as possible, cut them in the same similar size and take the stems. You can basically, based on the garland thickness, you can put the stems in various ways. You can either keep it like this, 1, 2, 3, and then this is your 4th one. So as you can see, it made a compact round. In case if you're not seeing something is out, something is inside, you can, and also the size of the flower matters. So what happened, I put this one, which is a little bit bigger, and it is, altering the shape. So I removed that and I try to fit in a smaller than the earlier one. So now you can see it's all arranged in a, 4-sided way. And if you want to make a bigger garland, put 5 flowers in a row or 6 flowers in a row. That is one way of putting these mums. And in case if you want to keep this mums in this shape itself, what you can do, you take this flower, and somebody asked whether the stems can be used. If they are thin ones, you can just rip off the bottom, and then exactly in the center, you put it in this one. So what happens? This will hold this flower in this shape. You can, if you want to be more sturdy, You could also put one at the bottom. So this is one pattern. And anytime, like Rohini had showed the garland making, the things were added. In case if you want to make a border, I will show a couple of pictures later. How do you make a border? So you can use mums, and we also use something like this kind of stuff. I don't know the name of this flower, but anything we can use this. What you will do, again, the size is very key in using any of these ones in the garland. These ones can, if you want to make it as a border, you take it with the stem, you put it inside like this and make a circle of it.
Mataji, the stem looks so thin. How is it holding?
Yeah, it comes, Mataji. Baby's breaths are much more thinner than them, but it is doable. Once if you start doing it, then you will, you could be able to put them in the needle. So you make a circle of this. Yes.
So when do you know when to push down on a long needle like this? How long do you stack it?
Suppose for these kind of flowers, they are very sturdy. So you can keep filling the entire needle with this.
She's asking like, how do you?
And when you want to push it down in the thread, maybe we can, I can show you a few more. It's a way how you push it in the thread. That is also a technique. So these flowers are sturdy, and you make a pattern up and down like this. So when you're putting in the thread, you basically hold the flowers together, and then you push, then you pull your needle on the upwards, and you push the flowers downwards. When you push down, it will automatically go. But this, either rows or mums or these type of fillers, we can fill in the entire needle. In case if you are working with the small roses like this, the stems are very delicate. Oftentimes, if you try to put them together and then try to push it, the stems tend to break. So for this kind of roses, you just put them in the needle like this.
Can you show it to the camera?
Sorry.
Mataji, can you show me how much length of stem you have taken it?
For the roses, it depends on the size of your garland. You can put 3 of them or 4 of them. Usually it is good to put the roses very nearby. And as you can see, even if you put, and also for, if you want to make the rose as a round circle, there are a specific type of, even the small roses, there are different patterns. So these ones tend to create a gap. So they stay one above the other. So what we will do when you have these kind of gaps, we try to use these fillers to fill in, to make the surface equal. Can you show this one, Manish? Hold it on the top.
Mataji, there is a question.
Yeah.
From Jayannath Priya Mataji. Can you show how to add leaves to the garland?
Yes, Mataji, we'll do it now.
There
So
is
as you
one-
can see, yes.
They're asking where to find such long needles.
Joyans and Amazon has it, Mataji. Amazon also. I think Ankur Prabhu would be able to send you the links. I think the link which he had sent, it has the needle information as well.
Okay.
So when you put the flowers, if you have the gaps, yes.
Needle size when we order online, or
you can order online, Mataji. The only thing is you have to see see this needle? Can you see the hole here? It's not focused.
Yes, Mataji.
So this shouldn't be too thick. If you have such type of, you need a bigger hole, and the edge shouldn't be too thick. So the edges should be thin and the hole will be wider. That is what you look for.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, there's a question from Vidya Varshana Mataji. What is the name of the filler like these yellow ones?
We have several types of fillers. I'm sorry, Mataji, I don't know the name of this flower exactly. Can you see if there is anything written? Yeah, it is. It's basically, this one is called greens. Oh, this is just greens assorted. I will find and
Alakali Mataji has typed it in the chat.
Okay, yellow solidago. So you can basically use these ones. Actually, we can use kale. Can you get some kale? Kale, and you can fill in baby's breath. And we also have wax flowers. All of them can be filled in. So you can put a yellow. So you put these gaps are filled with these yellow ones, and then you start filling your. Someone asked how to fill it the leaves. So the roses will always have the leaves. We can basically use the leaves to make a circle. Filling the leaves is very easier. Can you focus this one? So take this. Only thing is, when you're collecting the leaves, collect the same size of leaves. That would be really helpful. And then how Rohini had showed, you just fold them backwards. And then the center, let's show it like sideways. The center, you put it in the needle, center of the needle. And then you rotate your needle. Again, your next leaf, fold it backwards. Can you show it on this camera? They can't see, put the camera here. And then you have it on the top of this. Basically, you are making a circle out of this. And it is easier because you are filling them in the center.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Suvarna Gopika Mataji is asking, Mataji, would you like to ask your question? Because I guess you want to show yours also. Her question is, my needle is full of petals. How to pull everything down and make two similar sides? Okay.
Oh, that's nice, Mataji. Oh, that's good. So you have this. Maybe I will push them together. So as I mentioned, when you're working with roses, it is kind of little bit harder. So something like this you are having, and you take the thread. So you put the thread on the edge of this needle. So hold the flowers like this as much as you could, and then push your needle upwards and the flowers down. You have to hold the flowers like this firmly and push your needle upwards. So tie knot at the end. This comes into the thread. Yes, push, Mataji, push the needle up, nothing happens. Yes. Perfect.
Mataji, there is a question.
Yes, Mataji.
Are marigolds suitable for offering? And is there any special trick for such flowers with longer stem?
So marigold, of course, Mayapur, all the deities, you see the marigold. You can, marigold can be, in case, it depends on the size of the marigold. And usually you try to, suppose I don't have the marigold, but imagine this is the marigold, and marigold has like this type of stem, and they have a bigger stem here. So usually you trim as much as you could, so it will end up like this type of portion. And marigold, the center of the marigold will be little bit deep, deep inside. So when you try it, then you can put your needle exactly in the center. So the trimming should be as much as possible, so that you are not left out with any of the thin stems. And then you put your needle exactly in the middle of this rose, or the marigold. And when you take it, don't push the marigold one by one. So you have this rose in here, and then, the marigold we are imagining. And then you have the second marigold. Again, you are trimming as much as you could. And when you put it here, you press it as much as you could, so that the stem will sit inside the center part of your previous flower. That way, they will be arranged. And also you select them based on the size and keep putting them one above the other.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Just a little time check. It's 5:53.
Yes.
We would
Okay.
like to keep some time at the end for question and answers, Mataji.
Okay, so since we are really squeezing its time, I was trying to show one more type. Suppose if you are not, there are various ways to put this petal. This is different other way. What you can do, you can basically trim off this bottom, and it's a rolling, it's like a cone. So ideally, this is primarily the pattern of Hungary devotee. So one of my Garland member, Kalindi, really liked this pattern. Then we started putting it for Madan Mohan. So basically how you do is you rip off the bottom, you take this corner, you put this one on top, and then you roll it.
Wow. So each petal becomes like a flower.
Yes. And then how she had showed, Rohini, you can keep putting them like this. So basically, yeah, I was hoping one of my member, like Pratibha, is really very good with this. She makes it like a mission pattern, with very perfect shape and sizes. Unfortunately, she couldn't join. And other member is Nidhi Mataji. And they both are very good in putting these pattern in a very nice way. So basically, you make them as a round. Repeat. The key is take this corner, take it up, roll it, and then hold it like this and put it in a circle.
Mataji, many Matajis are asking for the needle link where to buy.
Yeah, after the program, I will send the information to Ankur Prabhu. He would be able to send you all the link.
Mataji, I already sent the link. I already sent the link on the.
Venugita Mataji had sent the link in the chat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but she has sent it for Zoan, but they are asking for Amazon as well. So
It's the same needles, Mataji. They look for soft sculpture doll needles, 5-inch. That's how I found it on Amazon. Just need to put that same brand, Ritz band, to find it.
Okay, so you keep adding like this, and then what we will do, sometimes we just add. There's another question. So we have only 3 minutes. So we have, sometimes what we do, we put like this type of fillers in the middle. if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer side by side, just showing this.
So Mataji, we made one side.
Yes.
And so after making one side of the garland,
yes.
See, so this is the one side, Mataji.
Yes.
And we will have a middle dangler, right?
Yes.
And then we cut the thread and then go for the second side, or how is it?
Yeah, I'll just show you that one. So basically, you can put them like this. Sorry. So you can basically fill in any of the fillers in between the petals. That will give you a festival, it's a really very wonderful, wonderful pattern. Randomly, you can put them. And then you can just,
okay, come in.
So
Hare
you have
Krishna
something-
Mataji.
Yes.
If any more question, please add in your ISV library, as we have just 2 more minutes to wrap up.
Yes. So you can keep adding like this. And I will just quickly show how to put exactly in a garland way, which Swarna Gopika Mataji had asked. So basically what we usually, there are different ways to do it. If you are a beginner, the simple way is just take this thread. We prefer doing a double thread because that holds the garland very thick and firm. If you use a single thread, oftentimes, when the flowers are stringed together, it doesn't stay together. So you take the needle, edge, you make a knot. Usually we used to have cherries, or if you have any pearls like which Manjula Kanda Mataji had added between the flowers, you can use that also in the bottom. So you have this.
Actually, the pearls were what you taught us for the kids because they couldn't maintain this gap. It was more solid than the other ones.
Yeah, that is very pretty, Mataji. So
Like
you take anything like this which could hold in the bottom. So you are putting it in the opposite way. So this is your center. This is making a simple ladkans. Then you find a flower which is a little bit bigger. This size based on the garland, what you want to make. And then
It's 6 o'clock.
put exactly in the middle. So this is your center of the garland. And then you cut the thread on the top here. So Swarna Gopika Mataji, now you have 2 ways. So you can keep making the needles, several flowers together, and then all you have to do is you have several of these needles, made separately, and you push the flowers here based on your, color and pattern on both the sides. Is that helpful?
Okay, so we just join the needle to a thread and push the flowers down.
Yes, you keep making the adding these flowers in the needle. If you have 2-3 needles, whatever pattern you want, you just add them in the needle, couple of needle, and then you make the base like this. And you can, if you don't want to make a hanging, you can push them in the center of the thread on both sides, and then you have and then you at the end you just tie them. So this is how it is done.
Hare Krishna Mataji, many Matajis are thanking you on social media. And we are
Thank you,
now 6:01.
Okay, sorry. We can have it. I couldn't show much, but basically that's a concept. So you have this flower, as you can see here. This is how the garland is made. And you keep tying them one above the other. And yeah, hopefully we can have, elaborate in other sessions. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be with you all and show a little bit whatever it's a team effort, and the devotees, several of the devotees served couple of years with long hours. And we actually had a slide to show you all. Just a minute. That's a last slide, although we cut off several of them. So these are all the beautiful patterns. Somebody asked for the patterns. We can send these slides so you can see how the Gajra and the Garland comes in a way. And these are little bit, once if you're familiar, we plan to do this as well for you because of the time constraint. We couldn't do it. And these are a couple of patterns what we made for offered to Radha Madan Mohan. And yeah, at the end we are just hoping you all can join us and to make Garland for Radha Madan Mohan. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be with you all.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much.
Thank
So
you.
if you have any questions, please reply to the email and we can get all the answers from Mataji. And I would like to thank Krishnangi Mataji for leading this session, Advait and is that Balram for broadcasting? Yes, Advait and Balram for broadcasting this session. Thanks to Prema Kishori Mataji for monitoring questions from various platforms. And finally, thank you all the participants, dear devotees of Radha Madan Mohan, for making this workshop so lively and enjoyable. Thank you.
Prabhu, one small correction. All the questions they want us to document in ISV library, so that would be really helpful.
Okay, sure. I'll convey the questions to you, Mataji.
Sure, thank you.
Now we are ready to change our flight. We have landed safely. Thank you, Krishnangi Mataji, for that safe landing. A little bit delayed, but that's fine. And now we'll move on to the second workshop, or let's say a second flight. Let's see where it will take us. So we'll need a couple of minutes to settle down and change the settings. Do we have Braj Vilasini Mataji here?
Hari Bol, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hari Bol, Krishnangi Mataji. Hari Bol, everybody.
So, shall we start?
Yeah, I'm going to turn on my other camera too. Oops. Okay, can you see the table? There's another view, and I think the name there is also Balaram. Okay, I'm going to change mine here then.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
I can see that now.
You can spotlight the one with the work table. It's called Balaram. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, all Matajis. So excited to see you, and I'm so nervous. I got many participants. So before I begin, please forgive me for any offenses that I commit. I'm just trying to do a little bit whatever I could in the time that I was given. And
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry to interrupt. Let me do a quick introduction. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's not needed. No.
Please. Otherwise, I'll get a scolding from Hansriya Mataji. Please help me to save me. Okay, welcome to the second workshop of the day. This is going to be about how to decorate our home altars to welcome Krishna on his appearance day. And our leader is Her Grace Braj Vilasini Mataji. Hari Bol. She's an artist at heart with an amazing sense for colors. For more than 5 years, she has been leading, along with Kalakeli Mataji, the Janmāṣṭamī decoration team. Each year, this is the single largest team that gets into action months before the Janmāṣṭamī under their expert guidance. Her team members know her as a confident, creative person who can make quick and execute those decisions. And above all, she is a loving and dear friend. She is a good cook as well. Devotees are especially fond of her samosas. Hari Bol.
That was a little too much, Prabhu, but whoever wrote it, thank you. I don't consider myself that esteemed, like it was saying. So it's all a team effort, and that is why we could do it. And we are especially missing this year all the action of being there weeks before the festival begins. I remember last year we had Manjula Kanta Mataji bringing us several food and, feeding us like all through 2 days. So I think everybody is especially missing that part too. So thank you so much. So keeping in mind various devotees that will join, I have come up with a simple project that that probably we can do a little part here, and then you can ramp it up as you want for your and personalize it for your home altars. So if you can see, Prabhu, can you spotlight the other video, please? Okay, so these are like hangings that you could make for your home altar. I have made them in 2 colors. One is purple and one is pink. And we're going to cut the petals into shapes, and we're going to stick them onto the yarn or any kind of thread that you have. If it's a little thicker thread, it will help you make it easy, the process. Otherwise, we can just make 2 or 3 lines of the thread and make it thick if you don't have it. Yeah, and before I begin, before you begin how to make it, I have made another size, which is a little smaller of what the current size is, because the bigger size is what I thought would be optimal for most altars. But in case you think if your altar could be very small and it wouldn't have much space, I will give sizes for this one too. So you can make another size of, sorry, my video is here. Okay, you can see, okay. So, sorry. Okay, so you can make like another size also and then customize it for your own altar. So where could these go? So if you have an altar which is like a bookshelf or like a bigger space, you could hang it down like a toran. You don't have to make 3 or 4 or big, but you can just make 2 of them and then hang them like in a ascending order or a descending pattern, like a toran, like Diwali torans that you get. You can do that. If you have an altar which has a big blank wall behind, then you can hang them like in lines, making it like a backdrop behind your altar. And if you don't want to make too many, you can just make 2 or 3 and just put them on the sides of your altar. So it's up to you. And if you even don't want to put them onto these, you can even just make these little flowers and then just stick them behind your altar or stick them on the sides of your altar. So the options are endless, however you would like to customize it for your own altar. For my own altar, I plan to put it like a toran in front of the altar. I'm going to show a picture, share a picture later to all the Matajis in the Vaishnavi Sangha so everybody can see. Many Matajis asked me like if they don't get these colors. That's why I specified pink, because this is a lotus. Pink would be more suitable. But however, if you couldn't find pink, I made a blue color too. That will look equally good. And then if you didn't even find like shades of blue, I made 2 with 2 different shades. One is orange and one is red. And then you can even make it this color too. So any color can work, and any anything can work, whatever you have at home currently. But once we are done with the workshop, you can even go and pick up or acquire these items. So we will begin and start going ahead, and then I can take you by a step-by-step process. So if you have bells, we can use bells. But if we don't have bells, I have these little crystal things. You could use that. Even if you don't have that, if you have yarn, you can make like a little tassel like this at the end. It's very simple. There are many YouTube videos on, many how to make these tassels. They're very simple to make. If you have any kind of colorful yarn, you can make it and keep it like this. So it would look like that. Sorry. Like that. Like a tassel at the end. So that is one more option. So I think we can go ahead and get started. And if anybody is having any issue or is not able to follow the instruction, please interrupt me and please let me know where you're not able to follow so I can help you from there. So like I mentioned, there are 2 flowers. The one that is all on the thread is the big flower that I had made. And these are the dimensions. And the numbers on the side you see are the number of petals that we need to cut. So the first dimension.
Sorry
yes,
for the interruption, Mataji. Monisha, can you start recording?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is it visible clearly to everybody, Prabhu?
Yes, very well.
Okay, thank you, Manjula Kanta Mataji. So these are the dimensions that we need to cut for our big flower. And now if you don't want to make a big flower, there is another small flower, and these are the dimensions that you need to cut. I'm going to make a big flower with everybody. But if you want to make a small flower, I'm going to leave these dimensions over here. So for anybody who wants to make a smaller flower, can still follow these dimensions. So this is the length and this is the height. So it should be 1.25 inches wide and the height should be 2.25. That's how I have put the dimensions. So there's one petal for this, 2 petals, 3 petals and 4 petals. And now this is like alternate colors. So the first color would be like, say I'm doing a pink flower. So my dark shade would be my first color. The lighter shade would be my second color. The lighter shade, again, the dark shade would be my third color, and the lighter shade would be my fourth color. So you alternate the petals. So it can be the shades of the colors, or it can be like red and yellow or any other pattern that you would like to make. Okay, so let's get started.
Mataji, could you just hold both the cards so that I can take a picture?
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Is it visible? I feel like a YouTuber actually. I've watched so many YouTube videos. I myself feel like a YouTuber now.
Mataji, can you leave the dimensions there, like so that we can?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
But I'm going to also do the first one, which is the big flower with everybody. So we can start doing it. So it should be 1.5 inches wide, the first petal, and it should be 3 inches height. So that's the first one. Oh, I started with a dark color, a light color, so that's okay.
Mataji, if you use the small ruler, it becomes very small, right?
There would be centimeters and inches, Mataji. Inches will be same on any ruler. But check, okay. Sometimes they have mm, like this one has mm on the other side.
Got it, Mataji.
That's the reason.
Mataji, are we doing this inches or centimeter? What is this?
Inches.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1.5 by 3 inches. 1.5 inches wide and 3 inches height.
Sorry, Mataji, like for the first one, it's 1.5 and by 3 inches, right? Now the second one, you are drawing like 1.25?
Yes, yes. We are reducing the size of the petals a little bit. Yes.
Oh, okay.
The second one is 1.25 by 2.5. The third one is 1.25 by 2. And the fourth one is 1 by 1.5.
Okay, thank you.
ये सब लिख लो ना तुम अपने पास।
नहीं मगर मैं क्या कर Mataji, this dimension what you have given, this 4 steps, this is for one flower or how many flowers?
For one flower, Mataji.
Okay, and I am following the small one, that is for 2 flowers. What is it?
No,
The
this
small
is for
sizes.
one flower, but each one you need to cut 2 petals. The number is the number of petals that you need to cut off that size. So the first one, you need just 1 petal to be cut. The second one, 2. Third one, 2. And the fourth one, 2.
Okay. Same with the small size also, right?
Yeah, it's the same. Both are same. I just have varied the dimensions a little bit. So it will look little smaller. That's it.
It will yield one flower only. Okay.
And Mataji, one thing, when they're cutting the leaves, right? The darker color is the first color. So then the first leaf, that is 1, is a darker color. Then the second row is the 2 leaves of lighter color. Again, followed by darker color and the light, right? That is the order.
Yes. Yeah. If you're using shades, if you're using different colors, it's much easy to do.
Okay.
Yeah. But here I started with a light color. So it really doesn't matter. It's up to us how we want it. Like here, I have used everything like dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, like that.
So Mataji, I'm a bit confused here. So first petal is 1.5 by 3 inches, right?
Yes.
So the if I'm taking a shade, like different shades, right? So the darker shade, if I choose the big petal, then for the 1.25 and 2.5, I should take a
Lighter
light
shade,
color, right?
So you alternate the shades, whatever you begin with.
Oh, okay.
So if you begin with a dark, the first one will be dark, second one will be light, then dark, then light.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, just alternate it. That is my first one. Okay. Is everybody okay with the dimensions?
We're still cutting.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Mataji, so flower one big, if I take it light color, light pink, so this would be all the dimensions, right? And if I'm taking dark pink, which is the flower two, small, this would be the dimensions, right?
No, Mataji. These dimensions are for a big and a small flower. The colors are going to be same for both flowers. So, for example, where is that? Yeah.
So I take orange. My combination, I'm taking orange and blue.
Okay.
So what I did flower one big 1.5 into 3. This big one I did marking, and the other blue I did 1.25 into 2.25.
You mean to say the other color?
Yes.
Which is the what colors did you say?
For the big, I took orange color.
Okay.
And for the small, I took the blue color. So I was wondering.
So you want to make both different colors and make all the petals the same color. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was doing like light. For example, you did light pink and pink.
Okay.
So I want to do the combination of like light pink and pink you did. I want to do orange and blue.
Okay.
Yanka Mataji, see if you can see, right? Mataji has shared two papers, right?
Mataji, whoever is moderating the video, can they switch my the spotlight the video to Balaram? Yes, thank you.
So should I start my video?
Yes, Mataji, start.
So Mataji, so the big flower that you see here are dimensions of one flower. These are the dimensions of different petals. So one flower has about 7 petals. So the first color is going to be the first petal. The second color is going to be 2 petals. The third color is again, the first color is going to be again 2 petals. Again, the second color is going to be again 2 petals. Like that, you alternate your colors. That is how it'll, I mean, if you want to make it like different shades in one flower. If you're making like this, like for example, like you're taking 2 different colors, right? So the first color is this one, which is 1.5 by 3. The second petals are going to be my 1.25 by 2.5. Again, my red is going to be 1.25 by 2. So they're going to be again 2 more petals of that color. And again, the orange I will cut 1 by 1.5. So you alternate your colors.
Oh,
Like this.
okay.
The dimensions are for alternating the colors. They're not making for different flowers. So all these dimensions are for one flower. And these two are the sizes of 2 different flowers.
Oh, okay. I got so
like this.
Oh.
They're 2 different sizes. If you want a smaller one to be more suitable for your altar, follow these dimensions, the small one. If you want a bigger one, then follow these dimensions.
Okay, I got it. I want only big flowers.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Praja Mataji.
Yes.
There is a question from Vidya Mataji. What is the dimension of the circles? And also, did you manually cut them all? Or do you have paper shape cutter machine kind of thing?
I actually cut them with a punch I have, Mataji. But I have also manually cut some. Where is the punch?
And she's asking, what is the shiny thing in the middle of the flower?
Okay, so that is a glitter. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mataji, 1 minute. Yeah, okay. So that is a glitter foam sheet. Do you hear any echo?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
So that's a glitter foam sheet, right?
Yeah. Do you still hear an echo? Okay.
Yes, Mataji. If you disconnect your audio, that will reduce the echo.
Reduce the volume in one of the devices.
Mataji, now it was okay. Second time.
It's still echoing.
Disconnecting audio would still show
Is
the
it
video.
better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's a glitter foam sheet. So this was not mentioned in the supplies list, Mataji, because you get packs of this. You don't get one single sheet. For that, you'll have to go to the store. So I have some other alternative also. So as we go ahead in the process of sticking it, I'm going to help with that also.
You can proceed, Mataji.
Okay. Is everybody okay with the dimensions? So this is my first petal. I have started with a lighter color, but you can start with a dark color. This is my first petal. That is my second one, which is the 1.25 by 2.5. These are 2 petals. The third one is again my lighter shade. That was my first petal too. So that is again 1.25 by 2. And the fourth one is my dark shade. Because I started with a lighter shade, that's how I have alternated. But if you start with a darker shade, then you won't end up with a dark shade. You will end up with a light shade. So I hope that is clear. So can I go ahead to how to cut these?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji.
And
Is everybody
you can,
okay?
because we are following different sizes, Mataji, you can say the size 1, size 2, size 3, and size 4, so that it is common for everybody. You don't have to mention the exact measurement.
Okay, okay. But if everybody is done with the cutting part, then we can go ahead.
Yes, Mataji, we are done with it.
Okay. Okay. So once we are done with cutting our petals, so we will have like 7 petals now. So first take the first petal, which is the biggest one, the first one. Then you make a fold. When you're folding it, try not to crease this fold. If you crease it, it will have a permanent mark over there. So don't crease it, just fold it. Just fold it and hold it. And then we draw like a semicircle onto the petal. like that. Once you have drawn a semicircle.
Mataji, can you once again show? Sorry to disturb.
Okay. So you fold, take the strip of your petal, fold it, hold it and hold it like this. Don't crease this side. Okay, when you're folding it, don't press this side, the folded side too much. Otherwise, it will create a crease in between. So don't press it. So just fold it gently like this. And then from one corner, starting from this side, from this corner to the next corner, make a semicircle, like a arch. Can everybody see?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Okay.
Mataji.
Yeah. So now we cut along that line, starting from the corner. You'll have your first petal.
Yay!
Okay. Then we repeat the process for all the petals. Same process. Fold it. Don't crease it. Just fold it gently. Hold it. And then draw
Semicircle.
like that.
Rajavilasni Mataji,
Ah.
can you show the cutting? My cutting is not coming proper.
Okay, let me show it on another sheet. I just cut everything.
Yeah, because I am doing something wrong. You can just wait for me to get my...
Okay. Mataji, you have a petal here, right? Can you see it? Okay. Here? This is your
Just
petal.
1 minute, Mataji. Let me cut the sheet. I wasted all my 3 sheets now.
You can just start at one corner of a sheet, Mataji.
Yeah, I'm starting at one corner, only 1 minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Here, right? So just fold it. Like bring the 2 sides together like this.
Okay.
Okay. But don't crease this side. Don't
Yeah.
press it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, once you have done that, take a pencil and then draw like a semicircle or an arch, like joining this end to this end, like that. I don't know if you can see it clearly.
Okay.
Did you get it, Mataji?
Yeah, I drew the just 1 second. Let me draw it properly.
So basically, the top point would like be at the center.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then we cut along the line starting from the corner.
Okay.
Like that. You'll have a pattern. It'll be like a teardrop.
You cut from inside, right?
No, you fold it, hold it like that. You folded it, right? Just
Yeah.
fold it from one side and then start cutting like this, like that.
To the end.
Okay.
Here, Mataji, see the folded side would not from the open side, from the folded side, from where you have drawn your arch, right? Where you have started your semicircle. From that side, you start cutting.
Oh, I'm cutting from that side, but something is not.
Can you show me, Mataji?
नहीं माताजी कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो रहा है. Okay.
Can you show it to me? एक बार दिखाइए.
खराब हो गया वो.
नहीं सही तो कट किया तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
नहीं वो फिर पूरा कट करने के बाद वो अलग हो जा रही
है. तो समझ में आया. So Mataji, there is an open side, right? There is an open side. Prabhu, can you move it to my spotlight mine? Thank you. So there's an open side and there's a folded side, right? So you draw your arch from the folded side, from this corner to that corner. Sorry. Can you see it? So that is my folded side, right? And this is my open side.
Okay.
I folded it like this. And then I start drawing it from this side. So the top of your arch is on the open side, where the 2 sheets are meeting.
Okay, that was the mistake.
Yeah. And your arch begins from your folded side. So when you cut it, then when you open it up, it will be that shape.
You start from open side, right? Sorry, closed side, right, Mataji? Folded.
Yes.
You draw the
Yeah. If this is your folded side, start your arch from this side. From that corner
side, right?
Yeah, and go all the way. Now, if you draw the other way, then you will have a half circle, half petal, right? You won't have a full petal when you open it. So you start from your closed side and then go to all the other way. Now this is my open side, right? So I'm not drawing from that side, drawing from the other side, from the closed side, beginning from there to the other end of the closed side.
Mataji, I'm done with it. What is the next step, Mataji? I'd like to show my thing. So I cut these pieces, the petals.
Yeah,
you can see.
Yeah, it looks good, Mataji. Yeah, I'll just wait another like just 2 or 3 minutes for all other Matajis also, and then we can proceed. It's already 6:40 actually. Okay, so then when you cut and then you can open it. Venugita Mataji, are you okay now?
I got my first leaf, Mataji.
Okay.
Oh,
Success.
आज के दिन तो नहीं होएगा. Oh my God. Okay.
Mataji, we have 19 more minutes. Just a reminder.
Okay. Yeah. So Mataji, I think I will proceed because I want
Yes,
to show
Mataji.
how to put it upon the thing also. So once you have cut your petals, now you have a folded side and you have like the other side, right? So put the folded side down, which means that it will have a little arch when you put it down. It won't be flat. Okay, that's my folded side down. Then we can take glue, put your first petal down, put glue on both sides. Put glue on one side. Then you stick the second petals, which are, if you're taking a big flower, it's going to be 1.25 by the 2.5 size petals. And if you're using a small flower, it's going to be 1 by 1.75 inches petal. Okay. Then you stick them like this.
Mataji, can you please show it once again?
Okay, so you put glue on both corners here. Put glue. Okay. Then you take your second petal and then put one corner, align it to one side like that, stick it. And the other side. It look like this. This is the back side of the flower. So when we turn it, our flower is going to look like this. Okay. Then we just continue layering our petals like that. Then put glue on the second petals. Then slightly put them a little down at an angle like that. And then the other side. Like that. Then, yeah, don't put, you won't need a lot of glue, Mataji, just a little bit of glue should be good.
Mataji.
Then I will,
Mataji.
yeah. Haribol, somebody was saying something?
I was just showing Mataji.
Oh, actually, I cannot see. We have spotlighted the video, so.
Mataji, can you tell me your name? That way I can spotlight you.
Shyam Vallabi. Suchita, you can.
Yeah, perfect, Mataji. So the down petals is up to us, how much down you want or how much up you want. So it's up to you.
Sure, Mataji.
Can you spotlight Sirisha? Hare Krishna. Mataji, are you able to see?
No, I cannot. Mataji, yeah, one side of the petal, you can just move them a little up. The other side, yeah, that side, just move it a little up. 1 second. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, looks good.
Mataji, this is Sudevi. So,
Small,
could you
right?
look at this?
My down petals are small. Did I did it wrong, or is that the same size?
No, they're the same size, Mataji. It's just orienting them little up.
Oh,
You can just move them a little up.
can you show yours, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you spotlight my video, please?
Yes, Mataji.
See, Mataji, it's a see, the lotus can look in various ways.
Yes.
This is how I like to put it. When you put it up on a flat wall, I felt this will look good. But like I said, if you like to put it a little down, that will look fine too. Okay. Like here.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so I'm going to move ahead.
Can you see mine, Mataji? Is it okay?
Mataji,
Mukta.
Mukta. Prabhu, can you spotlight Mukta, Mataji, please? Yeah, looks good, Mataji. Very nice. Very nice. Mataji, I think Mukta Mataji, आपके साथ कोई एक और Mataji है, right? I think उनके petals का size थोड़ा सा इधर हुआ है, but it's okay. Like I said, this is
She's making small flowers, Mataji.
Oh, I see. Okay, this making small one. Okay, perfect. So Devi Mataji, yes, I can see yours. It looks very nice. Okay.
Ji, this is Venu Gita.
Yes. Wow, looks very nice, Mataji.
Mataji, what about this?
Oh, yeah. Mataji, if you want, Vibha Mataji, if you want, you can move your down petals a little up. Okay. So it will fan out a little like lotus, but this is okay too if you like it that way. Moving them a little up will give it a little more nicer look, I feel. But if you like it this way, that's okay too.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Mataji, is it good to stick only at the bottom, or even the petals halfway glue it?
No, you won't need so much, Mataji. The glue is good enough. Yeah. Only at the bottom, it's good enough. Yeah, you won't need it. The petals won't fall off. Okay, so once we are done with this part, I'm going to move ahead because there's only 10 minutes like time. So I used a glitter sheet. I had a glitter foam sheet that I used to put as the center of my flower. Now, if you don't have the glitter foam sheet, if you have any kundans or like these gems, you can put that. If you don't have those, you can just cut a plain circle. You can cut a plain circle of another contrast color and you can put them, or use glitter glue. You get glitter glue pens. You can even make a little circle or like a little bud in the center. Now for the other one, for one of these, what I did was, so you cut a small strip, a very tiny strip. You won't need like much. The dimension, like 0.25 inches or like that much. It's not really a lot of the width of the strip. So you just cut that strip. This is in case if you don't want to do any of the earlier options. And then you make like little slits into the slip, like cut the paper, not all the way through, just up till a little bit, like halfway. Like that.
Mataji, one Mataji is requesting for the measurements.
Okay. Should I put it
to
in
share?
the chat box?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. Can I put it like in 5 minutes, Mataji, once I'm done with it?
I can collect measurements from Mataji and then email to the entire group.
Okay.
Sounds good, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. So when I'm making these cuts, I'm not making them all the way through. They're just halfway through. I'm done started. So once you're done with that, you can take a pencil and start rolling. You can roll it. Once you roll it a little bit, you can roll it with your hand. And then glue it. Once you glue it, then we just start opening up all those little slits or cuts that we have made into the paper. Look like a little bud. Like that. That you can put it in the center of your flower.
Roughly how long strip we would need, Mataji?
You can take it like 2.5 or 3 inches. I just cut it approximately. The more long you make, the more thick it's going to be. So I would say about 2.5 to 3 inches should be good for these kind of flowers. And then you can just stick it with glue.
Rajvilasni Mataji?
Yes.
Sirisha.
Yes, Mataji.
Are you able to see?
Yeah. Oh, nice, Mataji. Yeah, see, you can just put a flower like that.
Yeah.
So you can just decorate the center with anything. If you have gems, you can just put one gems like this too.
Rajamataji, I just made the flower. I don't think I did proper, but can you suggest me a bit? This is Divya.
Okay. Okay, Mataji, I think you cut the petals right. It's just that you just have to orient them right. So if you see your second petals, the light color, just push them a little up.
Oh, this one.
Onto the sides. So they will just come out from this side. Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you spotlight my video, please? Thank you. So if you see the petal, it's just a little side. Yours is little down. So it'll look like this. That starting is like this. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So if you just move them a little up, it's perfect.
Okay.
You just move them a little up.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
I just
Mataji, can you
Mataji, this is okay?
I cannot see. Prabhu, that is Venugita Mataji. Can you spotlight her? Yeah. Perfect, Mataji.
Mataji, Priyanka here.
Yes, Mataji. Oh, yeah. Very nice. The color combination looks very nice. Yeah.
I put that bead.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, you can put beads, you can put gems or kundans, you can put a glitter foam sheet, or you can just put a glitter glue in the center, or you can do a paper bud like that I have shown. So I'm going to move ahead and quickly show how to put it up.
Plain paper.
Okay. So first, if you have a bell, again here, you can use a bell or you can make a tassel like this. Make a tassel and then make a tassel too. Or you can use any beads you have or any kind of hanging you think that will look good. The bells will add a little festive look. That's why I suggested the bell, especially on the altar, it will look very festive. Okay. So once we are done with that, first we start with tying the one. Take the measurement of your altar. Okay. So according to the measurement of your altar, pick how many flowers would go there. So in between, I also added like these little circles too. I have a punch, so I cut them. This is about 3/4 inch size of this circle. So you can just approximately cut like take like a what do you call, a top of like any bottle or anything. That size will work perfectly, like a toothpaste one, or like, you know,
Even a penny.
yeah, like a penny. Yeah, good suggestion, Mataji. If you can take a penny or a dime, that size will be perfect. So the same again, I've used 2 shades here, but in my other one I've just used 1 shade of flower. So it's up to us. Again, here the thread also, I used a yarn, but if you don't have a yarn, you can use like a white thread too. You can put it on a white thread, or if you have a twine or a jute twine or anything like that, which is brown in color, you can put that up to. Anything is okay. So first you start with tying your bell. Tie your bell. When you make 2 or 3 knots and try to snip off the ends, so that end is doesn't look, it'll look clean. Okay. Then I started with my circles. I put 3 circles. Again, here, all this depends on the length of your altar, how much you want. Adding these circles will add a little, it looks like a very good. Yeah, embroidery thread works too, Manjula Kanta Mataji. Yes. These are not very heavy, so they can be easily stuck to the thing. Then you start gluing these circles first. You can start with gluing these circles. I used a glue gun, but you can use a glue too. Glue is going to take a little longer to get glued. You have to leave it for a while. But another easy option would be to put a sellotape at the back. If you're using like a thin thread or anything, you can use a sellotape to just put it at the back. I used a glue gun. Then you glue your flower. So I just applied glue in a line along the length of the flower. I can show it here. Or a glue, whatever is available. And just put it on the flower. Just gently tap it. It will stick to your thread. Okay. And then you just continue the same pattern until the desired length is achieved. And then at the top, you can just make a loop, put a push pin or wherever you are hanging, or like a sellotape, or however way it works. And then just hang it on to the sides of your altar, or like a toran. Like you can make like two of these and make like a toran, like 5 to 6 along the length of the altar in the front. And you can put it up, or at the back, like a backdrop. You can just make alternate colors, like one blue, or one will be one full pink garland, one will be purple or whatever color garland, and then other colors. Or you can even alternate in these colors.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, we are out of time now. So is there any one quick question anybody would like to ask Mataji? Okay. Thank you very much, Mataji, for leading this session with so much planning, and you had everything ready and very nicely coordinated. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank also Giridhar and Monisha from the broadcast team for hosting and managing this Zoom session. Thanks to both of you for switching the spotlights at so spontaneous speed. Thank you. Thanks to Premakeshwari Mataji for monitoring questions again. And finally, thank you all for participating in this workshop. Please stay on if you would to join Shrivas Pandit Prabhu and Shraddha Mataji in Krishna book reading.
Thank you. Thank you all, Mataji. I hope you liked the idea, and I hope it will add to your Janmāṣṭamī decorations. So thank you so much, and virtual hugs to everybody, and praying to see you all soon. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you so much,
Mataji, after you decorate your altar, please send pictures so we also get an idea.
Absolutely. I'd love to see everybody's altar too.
Rajavilasini Mataji, I joined for the last 15 minutes and your skill was really very, very precise and you're an expert at this stuff. I can see that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srivas Pandit Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Uncle. Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
La Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Please give me a couple of minutes. I'll introduce our readers and then you can take over. Is Shraddha Mataji there? Hare Krishna. I guess you are muted, Mataji, but that's fine. I could hear you.
I better stay muted.
Okay. So, I would like to welcome all of you for this Krishna book reading, our first Krishna book reading session for the 6-day festival. This reading session will be led by His Grace Srivas Pandit Prabhu and Her Grace Shraddha Mataji. I am honored and genuinely privileged to introduce Srivas Pandit Prabhu and Shraddha Mataji. A brief introduction for Srivas Pandit Prabhu. He has been part of ISV congregation for many, many years. He is a scholar of Vaishnava philosophy and teaches various courses like Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhava. While extremely learned, all devotees know him as a down-to-earth person filled with love and humility. His friendly hugs and laughs are endearing to one and all. He is a spiritual mentor and a guide to many. He hosts and leads Bhakti Vriksha programs. Her Grace Shraddha Mataji, she has been part of ISV congregation for a very long time. She is an initiated disciple of His Grace Vaiseshika Prabhuji and serves in several capacities as a personal assistant to him. For example, she helps organize yatras, Vyas Pujas, and personally takes care of his disciples. She is known for her laser focus and perfection in whatever she does. One of her example services, which are like the highlights, is corporate book distribution. She leads a team that generates amazing results. She is an excellent mentor and a counselor for girls. No matter who is giving the class or what time it is, she is always in the front row, first bencher as we may call it. She is a natural leader who leads by example. Thank you, Srivas Pandit Prabhu and Shraddha Mataji for leading this session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll start off with the Mangalacharan prayers and we can start the reading. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhayascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shamam Hiranyaparidim Vanamalya Barha Dhatu Pravala Nataveshamanavritanse Vinyasta Hasta Itarena Dunanamabjam Karnot Palalaka Kapola Mukhabjahasam. Hare Krishna. Ankurji, thank you so much for such a nice introduction. So would you be projecting Krishna book on the screen, or should we, how does that work? Thank you.
Where shall we start from, Prabhu?
Sorry?
Where should we start from in the book?
Chapter 1.
So Monisha is taking care of all the flight controls. I gave the analogy, we are in a flight, one after another flight. Each session is like a flight. So our flight control master is Monisha right now.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Manisha. Reading from Krishna book. Chapter 1. The Advent of Lord Krishna. Once the world was overburdened by the unnecessary defense forces of different kings, who were actually demons, but were posing themselves as royal order. At that time, the whole world became perturbed, and the predominating deity of this earth, known as Bhumi, went to see Lord Brahma to tell her of her calamities due to the demoniac kings. Bhumi assumed the shape of a cow and presented herself before Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes. She was bereaved and was weeping just to invoke the Lord's compassion. She related the calamitous position of the earth, and after hearing this, Lord Brahma became aggrieved, and he at once started for the ocean of milk, where Lord Vishnu resides. Lord Brahma was accompanied by all the demigods, headed by Lord Shiva, and Bhumi also followed. Arriving on the shore of the milk ocean, Lord Brahma began to pacify Lord Vishnu, who had formerly saved the earthly planet by assuming the transcendental form of a boar. In the Vedic mantras, there is a particular type of prayer called Purusha Sukta. Generally, the demigods offer their obeisances to Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by chanting the Purusha Sukta. It is understood herein that the predominating deity of every planet can see the Supreme Lord of this universe, Brahma, whenever there is some disturbance on his planet. And Brahma can approach the Supreme Lord Vishnu not by seeing him directly, but by standing on the shore of the ocean of milk. There is a planet within this universe called Shvetadvipa, and on that planet there is an ocean of milk. It is understood from various Vedic literatures that just as there is an ocean of salt water on this planet, there are various kinds of oceans on other planets. Somewhere there is an ocean of milk, somewhere there is an ocean of oil, and somewhere there are oceans of liquor and of many other types of liquids. The Purusha Sukta is the standard prayer which the demigods recite to appease the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Because he is lying on the ocean of milk, he is called Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. He is the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through whom all the incarnations within this universe appear. Shraddha Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Monisha. Can you increase the font size just a little bit?
Yes, Mataji, I will do that now.
Yeah, I've just texted that to her.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's much better. And if you can, yeah, I lost the place where it was. If you can put the cursor.
Oh, yeah.
After all, yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Shivas Prabhu, and thank you, Ankur Prabhu, for all the wonderful things you said about me. And they are there because I'm being trained by Shivas Pandit Prabhu. That's a fact. And I'm just so happy that He's there to guide us all here at ISV. Thank you so much, all the devotees, for joining us. I will get going here. After all the demigods offered the Purukshotara prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they apparently heard no response. Then Lord Brahma personally sat in meditation, and there was a message transmission from Lord Vishnu to Brahma. Brahma then broadcast the message to the demigods. That is the system of receiving Vedic knowledge. The Vedic knowledge is received first by Brahma from the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of the heart. As stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tena Brahma Hridaya Adi Kaveye, the transcendental knowledge of the Vedas was transmitted to Lord Brahma through the heart. Here also, in the same way, only Brahma could understand the message transmitted by Lord Vishnu, and he broadcast it to the demigods for their immediate action. The message was this: the Supreme Personality of Godhead would appear on the earth very soon, along with his supreme powerful potencies, as long as he remained on the earth planet to execute his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees. The demigods should also remain there to assist him. They should all immediately take birth in the family of Yadu dynasty, wherein the Lord will also appear in due course of time. The Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Krishna, would personally appear as the son of Vasudeva. Before his appearance, all the demigods, along with their wives, should appear in different pious families in the world just to assist the Lord in executing his mission. The exact word used here is tat priyayartham, which means the demigod should appear on the earth in order to please the Lord. In other words, any living entity who lives only to satisfy the Lord is a demigod. The demigods were further informed that Ananta, the plenary portion of Lord Krishna, who is maintaining the universal planets by extending his millions of hoods, would also appear on earth before Lord Krishna's appearance. They were also informed that the external potency of Vishnu, Maya, with whom all the conditioned souls are enamored, would also appear by the order of Supreme Lord, just to execute his purpose. After instructing and pacifying all the demigods, as well as Bhumi with sweet words, Lord Brahma, the father of all Prajapatis or progenitors of the universal population, departed for his own abode, the highest material planet called Brahmaloka. The leader of the Yadu dynasty, King Surasen, was ruling over the country known as Mathura, wherein lies the city of Mathura, as well as a district known as Shurasena, which was named after him. On account of the rule of King Surasena, Mathura became the capital city of all the kings of the Yadus. Mathura was also made the capital of the kings of the Yadu dynasty because the Yadus were a very pious family and knew that Mathura is a place where Lord Sri Krishna lives eternally, just as he also lives in Dwarka. Once upon a time, Vasudeva, the son of Shurasena, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his newly wedded wife. The father of Devaki, known as Devaka, had contributed a sufficient dowry because he was very affectionate towards his daughter. He had contributed hundreds of chariots completely decorated with gold equipment. At that time, Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudeva's chariot and was driving. According to the custom of the Vedic civilization, when a girl is married, the brother takes the sister and brother-in-law to their home. Because the newly married girl may feel too much separation from her father's family, the brother goes with her until she reaches her father-in-law's house. So Shivas Pandit Prabhu, will you continue reading?
Thank you. The full dowry contributed by Devaka was as follows: 400 elephants fully decorated with golden garlands, 15,000 decorated horses, and 1,800 chariots. He also arranged for 200 beautiful girls to follow his daughter. The Kshatriya system of marriage, still current in India, dictates that when a Kshatriya is married, a few of dozens of bride's young girlfriends, in addition to the bride, go to the house of the king. The followers of the queen are called maidservants, but actually they act as friends of the queen. This practice is prevalent from time immemorial, traceable at least to the time before the advent of Lord Krishna 5,000 years ago. So Vasudeva brought home another 200 beautiful girls along with his wife, Devaki. While the bride and bridegroom were passing along the chariot, there were different kinds of musical instruments playing to indicate the auspicious moment. There were conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettles. Combined together, they were vibrating a nice concert. The procession was passing very pleasingly, and Kamsa, driving the chariot, when suddenly there was a miraculous sound vibrated from the sky, which especially announced to Kamsa, "Kamsa, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother-in-law, but you do not know that the eighth child of the sister will kill you." Kamsa was the son of Ugrasena of the Bhoja dynasty. It is said that Kamsa was the most demoniac of all Bhoja dynasty kings. Immediately after hearing the prophecy from the sky, he caught hold of Devaki's hair and was about to kill her with his sword. Vasudeva was astonished at Kamsa's behavior, and in order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak as follows, with great reason and evidence. He said, "My dear brother-in-law Kamsa, you are the most famous king of the Bhoja dynasty, and people know that you are the greatest warrior and a valiant king. How is it that you are so infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman who is your own sister at this auspicious time of her marriage? Why should you be so much afraid of death? Death is already born along with your birth. From the very day you took your birth, you began to die. Suppose you are 25 years old, that means you have already died 25 years. Every moment, every second, you're dying. Why then should you be so much afraid of death? Final death is inevitable. You may die either today or in 100 years, but you cannot avoid death. Why should you be so much afraid? Actually, death means annihilation of the present body. As soon as the present body stops functioning and mixes with the 5 elements of material nature, the living entity within the body accepts another body according to his present actions and reactions. It's just like when a man walks on the street, he puts forward his foot, and when he's confident that his foot is situated on the sound ground, he lifts another foot. In this way, one after another, the bodies change and the soul transmigrates. See how the plant worms change from one twig to another so carefully. Similarly, the living entity changes his body as soon as the higher authorities decide on his next body. As long as the living entity is conditioned by the laws of nature, he must take material bodies one after another. His next particular body is offered by the laws of nature according to the actions and reactions of this life. This body is exactly like one of the bodies which we always see in dreams. During the dream of sleep, we create so many bodies according to mental creation. We have seen gold, and we have also seen a mountain. So in a dream, we can see a golden mountain by combining the two ideas. Sometimes in dreams, we see that we have a body which is flying in the sky, and at that time, we completely forget our present body. Similarly, these bodies are changing. When you have one body, you forget the past body. During a dream, we may make contact with so many new kinds of bodies, but when we are awake, we forget them all. And actually, these material bodies are the creations of our mental activities. But at the present moment, we do not recollect our past bodies. The nature of mind is flickering. Sometimes it accepts something and immediately it rejects the same thing. Accepting and rejecting is the process of the mind in contact with the 5 objects of sense gratification: form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. In its speculative way, the mind comes in touch with the objects of sense gratification, and when the living entity desires a particular type of body, he gets it. Therefore, the body is an offering by the laws of material nature. The living entity accepts a body and comes out again into the material world to enjoy or suffer according to the construction of the body. Unless we have a particular type of body, We cannot enjoy or suffer according to our mental proclivities inherited from the previous life. The particular type of body is actually offered to us according to our mental condition at the time of death. Shrutamati?
Thank you, Prabhu. The luminous planets like the sun, moon, or stars reflect themselves in different types of reservoirs like water, oil, or ghee. The reflection moves according to the movements of the reservoir. The reflection of the moon is on the water, and the moving water makes the moon also appear to be moving, but actually the moon is not moving. Similarly, by mental concoction, the living entity attains different kinds of bodies, although actually he has no connection with such bodies. But on account of illusion, being enchanted by the influence of Maya, the living entity thinks that he belongs to a particular type of body. That is the way of conditioned life. Suppose the living entity is now in a human form of body. He thinks that he belongs to the human community or a particular country or particular place. He identifies himself in that way and unnecessarily prepares for another body which is not required by him. Such desires and mental concoctions are the cause of different types of bodies. The covering influence of material nature is so strong that the living entity is satisfied in whatever body he gets, and he identifies with that body with great pleasure. Therefore, I beg to request you not to be overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body. Vasudeva thus requested Kamsa not to be envious of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone, because envy is the cause of fear, both in this world and in the next, when one is before Yamraj, the Lord of punishment after death. Vasudeva appealed to Kamsa on behalf of Devaki, saying that she was his younger sister. He also appealed at an auspicious moment at the time of marriage. A young sister or brother is supposed to be protected as one's child. The position is overall so delicate, Vasudeva reasoned, that if you kill her, it'll go against your high reputation. In this way, Vasudeva tried to pacify Kamsa by good instructions as well as philosophical discrimination, but Kamsa was not to be pacified because his association was demoniac. Because of his demoniac association, he was a demon, although born in a very high royal family. A demon never cares for any good instruction. He's just like a determined thief. One can give him moral instruction, but it will not be effective. Similarly, those who are demoniac or atheistic by nature can hardly assimilate any good instruction, however authorized it may be. That is the difference between demigods and demons. Those who can accept good instruction and try to live their lives in that way are called demigods, and those who are unable to take such good instruction are called demons. Failing in his attempt to pacify Kamsa, Vasudeva wondered how he would protect his wife Devaki. When there is imminent danger, an intelligent person should try to avoid the dangerous position as far as possible. But if, in spite of endeavoring by all intelligence, one fails to avoid the dangerous position, there is no fault on his part. One should try his best to execute his duties, but if the attempt fails, he is not at fault. Vasudeva thought of his wife as follows: for the present, let me save the life of Devaki. Then later on, if there are children, I shall see how to save them. He further thought, if in the future I get a child who can kill Kamsa, just as Kamsa is thinking, then both Devaki and the child will be saved, because the law of providence is inconceivable. But now, some way or other, let me save the life of Devaki. There is no certainty how a living entity contacts a particular type of body, just as there is no certainty how a blazing fire comes in contact with a certain type of wood in the forest. When there is a forest fire, it is experienced that the blazing fire sometimes leaps over one tree and catches another by the influence of the wind. Similarly, a living entity may be very careful in the matter of executing his duties, but it is still very difficult for him to know what type of body he's going to get in the next life. Maharaj Bharata was very faithfully executing the duties of self-realization, but by chance he developed temporary affection for a deer. And his next life, he had to accept the body of a deer. Over to you, Shivas Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Vasudeva, after deliberating on how to save his wife, began to speak to Kamsa with great respect, although Kamsa was the most sinful man. Sometimes it happens that a most virtuous person like Vasudeva has to flatter a person like Kamsa, a most vicious person. That is the way of all diplomatic transactions. Although Vasudeva was deeply aggrieved, he smiled outwardly. He addressed the shameless Kamsa in that way because he was so atrocious. Vasudeva said to Kamsa, "My dear brother-in-law, please consider that you have no danger from your sister. You are awaiting some danger because you have heard a prophetic voice in the sky. But the danger is to come from the sons of your sister who are not present now, and who knows, there may or may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present, nor is there any cause of fear from your sister. If there are any sons born of her, I promise that I shall present all of them to you for necessary action." Kamsa knew the value of Vasudeva's word of honor, and he was convinced by his argument. For the time being, he desisted from the heinous killing of his sister. Thus Vasudeva was pleased and praised the decision of Kamsa. In this way, he returned to his home. Each year thereafter, in due course of time, Devaki gave birth to a child. Thus she gave birth to 8 male children, as well as 1 daughter. When the first son was born, Vasudeva kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child before Kamsa. It is said that Vasudeva was very much elevated and famous for his word of honor, and he wanted to maintain this fame. Although it was very painful for Vasudeva to hand over the newly born child, Kamsa was very glad to receive him. But he became a little compassionate with the behavior of Vasudeva. This event is very exemplary. For a great soul like Vasudeva, there is nothing considered to be painful in the course of discharging one's duty. A learned person like Vasudeva carries out his actions without hesitation. On the other hand, a demon like Kamsa never hesitates in committing any abominable action. It is said, therefore, that a saintly person can tolerate all kinds of miserable conditions of life. A learned man can discharge his duties without awaiting favorable circumstances. A heinous person like Kamsa can act in any sinful way, and a devotee can sacrifice everything to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kamsa became satisfied by the action of Vasudeva. He was surprised to see Vasudeva keeping his promise, and being compassionate upon him and pleased, he began to speak as follows. "My dear Vasudeva, you need not present this child to me. I am not in any danger from this child. I have heard that the 8th child born of you and Devaki will kill me. Why should I accept this child unnecessarily? You can take him back." While Vasudeva was returning home with his firstborn child, although he was pleased by the behavior of Kamsa, he could not believe in him because he knew that Kamsa was uncontrolled. An atheistic person cannot be firm in his word of honor. One who cannot control the senses cannot be steady in his determination. The great politician Chanakya Pandit has said, "Never put your trust in a diplomat or a woman. Those who are addicted to unrestricted sense gratification can never be truthful, nor can they be trusted with any faith." At that time, the great sage Narada came to Kamsa. He was informed of Kamsa's becoming compassionate to Vasudeva and returning his firstborn child. Narada was very eager to accelerate the descent of Lord Krishna as soon as possible. He therefore informed Kamsa that in Vrindavan, personalities like Nanda Maharaj and all other cowherd men and their wives, on the other side Vasudeva, his father Shurasena, and all his relatives born in the family of Vrishni of the Yadu dynasty, along with their friends and well-wishers, were actually demigods. Narada warned Kamsa to be careful of them, since Kamsa and his friends and advisors were all demons. Demons are always afraid of the demigods. After being thus informed by Narada about the appearance of demigods in different families, Kamsa at once became very much alarmed. He understood that since the demigods had already appeared, Lord Vishnu must be coming soon. He at once arrested both his brother-in-law Vasudeva and Devaki and put them behind the prison bars. Shraddha.
Thank you, Shivas Prabhu. Within the prison, shackled in iron chains, Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to a male child year after year. And Kamsa, thinking each of the babies to be the incarnation of Vishnu, killed them one after another. He was particularly afraid of the 8th child. But after the visit of Narada, he came to the conclusion that any child might be Krishna. Therefore, it was better to kill all the babies who took birth from Devaki and Vasudeva. This action of Kamsa is not very difficult to understand. In the history of the world, there are many instances in the history of the world of persons in the royal order who have killed their father, brother, or whole family and friends for the satisfaction of their ambitions. There is nothing astonishing about this, for members of the demoniac, greedy royal order can kill anyone for their nefarious ambitions. Kamsa was made aware of his previous birth by the grace of Narada. He learned that in his previous birth, he had been a demon of the name Kalanemi, and that he had been killed by Vishnu. Having now taken his birth in the Bhoja family, he decided to become the deadly enemy of the Yadu dynasty. Krishna was going to take birth in that family, and Kamsa was very much afraid that he will be killed by Krishna, just as he had been killed in his last birth. He first of all imprisoned his father, Ugrasena, because he was the chief king among the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andhaka dynasties. And he also occupied the kingdom of Surasena, Vasudeva's father. He declared himself the king of all such places. Manisha, if you can scroll it up. Thank you. Kamsa was made aware of his previous birth by the grace of Narada. He learned that in his previous birth, he had been a demon of the name Kalanemi. He first of all imprisoned his father Ugrasena because he was the chief king among the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andhaka dynasties. And he also occupied the kingdom of Surasena, Vasudeva's father. He declared himself the king of all such places. That was a repeat. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first chapter of Krishna, the advent of Lord Krishna. So going to the next chapter and moving over to Shivas Pandit Prabhu to start.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. Chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods for Lord Krishna in the Womb. King Kamsa not only occupied the kingdoms of the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andhaka dynasties, and the kingdom of Shurasena, but he also made alliances with other demoniac kings as follows: Pralambha, Vaka, Chanura, Trinavarta, Aghasura, Mushtika, Arishta, Vivida, Putana, Keshi, and Dhenuka. At that time, Jarasandha was the king of Magadha province, known at present as Bihar state. Thus, by his diplomatic policy, Kamsa consolidated the most powerful kingdom of his time under the protection of Jarasandha. He made further alliances with such kings as Banasura and Bhaumasura until he was the strongest. Then he began to behave most inimically toward the Yadu dynasty, into which Krishna was to take his birth. Being harassed by Kamsa, the king of the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andhaka dynasties took shelter in different states, such as the states of the Kurus, the states of the Panchalas, the states known as Kaikeya, Shalva, Vidarbha, Nishada, Videha, and Koshala. Kamsa broke the solidarity of the Yadu kingdom, as well as the Bhoja and Andhaka. He made his position the most solid within the vast tract of land known at that time as Bharatvarsha. When Kamsa was killing the 6 babies of Devaki and Vasudeva one after another, many kings and relatives of Kamsa approached him and requested him to discontinue these heinous activities. But all of them became worshippers of Kamsa. When Devaki became pregnant for the 7th time, a plenary expansion of Krishna known as Ananta appeared within her womb. Devaki was overwhelmed with both jubilation and lamentation. She was joyful, for she could understand that Lord Vishnu had taken shelter within her womb. But at the same time, she was sorry that as soon as her child would come out, Kamsa would kill him. At that time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, being compassionate upon Yadus, who were fearful due to the atrocities committed by Kamsa, ordered the appearance of Yogamaya, his internal potency. Krishna is the Lord of the universe, but he is especially the Lord of the Yadu dynasty. Yogamaya is the principal potency of the personality of Godhead. In the Vedas, it is stated that the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has multi-potencies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. All the different potencies are acting externally and internally, and Yogamaya is the chief of all potencies. The Lord ordered the appearance of Yogamaya in the land of Vrajabhumi in Vrindavana, which was always decorated with beautiful cows. In Vrindavana, Rohini, one of the wives of Vasudeva, was residing at the house of King Nanda and Queen Yashoda. Not only Rohini, but many others in the Yadu dynasty were scattered all over the country due to their fear of the atrocities of Kamsa. Some of them were even living in caves of the mountains. Shraddha Mataji, over to you.
Thank you, Shivas Prabhu. The Lord does inform Yogamaya. Under the imprisonment of Kamsa are Devaki and Vasudeva, and at the present moment, my plenary expansion, Shesha, is within the womb of Devaki. You can arrange the transfer of Shesha from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. After this arrangement, I am personally going to appear in the womb of Devaki with my full potencies. Then I shall appear as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. And you shall appear as the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda in Vrindavana. Since you will appear as my contemporary sister, and since you will quickly satisfy desires for sense gratification, people within the world will worship you with all kinds of valuable presentations, incense, candles, flowers, and offerings of sacrifice. People who are after materialistic perfection will worship you under the different forms of your expansions, which will be named Durga, Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumuda, Chandika, Krishna, Madhavi, Kanyaka, Maya, Narayani, Ishani, Sharada, and Ambika. Krishna and Yogamaya appeared as brother and sister, the supreme powerful and the supreme power. Although there is no clear distinction between the powerful and the power, power is always subordinate to the powerful. Those who are materialistic are worshippers of the power, and those who are transcendentalists are worshippers of the powerful. Krishna is the supreme powerful, and Durga is the supreme power within the material world. Actually, people in the Vedic culture worship both the powerful and the power. There are many hundreds and thousands of temples of Vishnu and Devi, and sometimes they are worshipped simultaneously. The worshipper of the power, Durga, or the external energy of Krishna may achieve all kinds of material success very easily. But anyone who wants to be elevated transcendentally must engage in worshipping the powerful in Krishna consciousness. The Lord also declared to Yogamaya, my plenary expansion, Ananta Shesha, is within the womb of Devaki. On account of being forcibly attracted to the womb of Rohini, he will be known as Sankarshana and will be the source of all spiritual power or bala, by which one can attain the highest bliss of life, which is called Ramana. Therefore, the plenary portion Ananta will be known after his appearance either as Sankarshana or as Balrama. In the Upanishads, it's stated, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha. The purport is that one cannot attain the supreme platform of self-realization without being sufficiently favored by Balram. Bala does not mean physical strength. No one can attain spiritual perfection by physical strength. One must have spiritual strength, which is infused by Balram or Sankarshan, Ananta or Shesha. Ananta or Shesha is the source of power which sustains all the planets in their different positions. Materially, this sustaining power is known as the law of gravitation, but actually it is a display of the potency of Sankarshana, Balram, or Sankarshana is the source of spiritual power or the original spiritual master. Therefore, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is also the incarnation of Balram, is the original spiritual master. And the spiritual master is the representative of Balram, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who supplies spiritual strength. In the Caitanya Caritamrta, it is confirmed that the spiritual master is the manifestation of the mercy of Krishna. And over to you, Shivas Prabhu.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji. Thus ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya circumambulated the Lord, then appeared within this material world according to his order. When Yogamaya, the supreme power of the supremely powerful personality of Godhead, transferred Lord Shesha from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, both Devaki and Rohini were under Yogamaya's spell. Mataji, would you like to continue just for a minute and for a couple of more minutes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Which is called Yoga Nidra. So I'll repeat that sentence there. When Yogamaya, the supreme power of the supremely powerful personality of Godhead, transferred Lord Shesha from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, both Devaki and Rohini were under the Yogamaya spell, which is called Yoga Nidra. When this was done, people thought that Devaki's 7th pregnancy had been a miscarriage. Thus, although Balram appeared as the son of Devaki, he was transferred to the womb of Rohini to appear as her son. After this arrangement, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, who is always ready to protect his unalloyed devotees, entered within the mind of Vasudeva as the Lord of the whole creation with full inconceivable potencies. It is understood in this connection that Lord Krishna first of all situated himself in the unalloyed heart of Vasudeva and was then transferred to the heart of Devaki. He was not put into the womb of Devaki by seminal discharge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable potency, can appear in any way. It is not necessary for him to appear in the ordinary way by seminal injection within the womb of a woman. When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like the glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable and scorching to the common man. The form of the Lord situated in the pure unalloyed heart of Vasudeva is not different from the original form of Krishna. The appearance of the form of Krishna everywhere, and specifically within the heart, is called Dhamma. Dhamma refers not only to Krishna's form, but also to his name, his qualities, and his paraphernalia. Everything becomes manifest simultaneously. Shivas, would you like to continue?
Thank you, and sorry about that. Thank you, Mataji. Thus, the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full potencies was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki, exactly as the setting sun's rays are transferred to the full moon rising in the east. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thus entered the body of Devaki from the body of Vasudeva without being subject to any of the conditions of an ordinary living entity. Since Krishna was there, it is to be understood that all his plenary expansions, such as Narayana, and incarnations like Lord Nrsimha and Varaha were with him, and they were also not subject to the conditions of material existence. In this way, Devaki became the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without second and the cause of all creation. Devaki became the residence of the Absolute Truth, but because she was confined within the house of Kamsa, she looked just like a suppressed fire or misused education. When the fire is kept in a jug, the illuminating rays of the fire cannot be very much appreciated. Similarly, misused knowledge, which does not benefit the people in general, is not very much appreciated. So Devaki was kept within the prison walls of Kamsa's palace, and no one could see her transcendental beauty, which resulted from her conceiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kamsa, however, saw the transcendental beauty of his sister Devaki and at once concluded that the Supreme Personality of Godhead had taken shelter in her womb. She had never before looked so wonderfully beautiful. He could distinctly understand that there was something wonderful within the womb of Devaki. In this way, Kamsa became perturbed because he was sure that the Supreme Personality of Godhead who would kill him in the future had now come. Kamsa began to think, what is to be done with Devaki? Surely she has Vishnu or Krishna within her womb. So it is certain that Krishna has come to execute the mission of the demigods. And even if I immediately kill Devaki, his mission cannot be frustrated. Kamsa knew very well that no one can frustrate the purpose of Vishnu. Any intelligent man can understand that the laws of God cannot be violated. His purpose will be served in spite of all impediments offered by the demons. Kamsa thought, if I kill Devaki at the present moment, Vishnu will enforce his supreme will more vehemently. To kill Devaki just now would be a most abominable act. No one desires to kill his reputation, even in an awkward situation. If I kill Devaki now, my reputation will be spoiled. Devaki is a woman, and she's under my shelter. She's pregnant, and if I kill her, immediately my reputation, the results of my pious activities, and my duration of life will all be finished. He further deliberated, a person who's too cruel is as good as dead, even in this lifetime. No one likes a cruel person during his lifetime, and after his death, people curse him. On account of his self-identification with the body, he must be degraded and pushed to the darkest region of hell. Kamsa thus meditated on all the pros and cons of killing Devaki at that time. Kamsa finally decided not to kill Devaki right away, but to wait for the inevitable future. But his mind became absorbed in animosity against the personality of Godhead. He patiently waited for the delivery of the child, expecting to kill him, as he had done previously with the other babies of Devaki. Thus, being merged in the ocean of animosity against the personality of Godhead, he began to think of Krishna or Vishnu while sitting, while sleeping, while walking, while eating, while working, in all the situations of his life. His mind became so much absorbed with the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that indirectly he could see only Krishna or Vishnu around him. Unfortunately, although his mind was so absorbed in the thought of Vishnu, he is not recognized as a devotee because he was thinking of Krishna as an enemy. The state of mind of a great devotee is also to be always absorbed in Krishna, but a devotee thinks of him favorably, not unfavorably. To think of Krishna favorably is Krishna consciousness, but to think of Krishna unfavorably is not Krishna conscious. Mate, Shrutam.
Thank you, Shwasabhu. At that time, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, accompanied by great sages like Narada and followed by many other demigods, invisibly appeared in the house of Kamsa. They began to pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in select verses, which are very pleasing to the devotees and which award fulfillment of their desires. The first words they spoke acclaim that the Lord is true to his vow. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna descends to this material world just to protect the pious and destroy the impious. That is his vow. The demigods could understand that the Lord had taken his residence within the womb of Devaki to fulfill his vow, and they were very glad that the Lord was appearing in order to fulfill his mission. Then the demigods addressed the Lord as Satyam Param, or the supreme absolute truth. Everyone is searching after the truth. That is the philosophical way of life. The demigods give information that the supreme absolute truth is Krishna. One who becomes fully Krishna conscious can attain the absolute truth. Krishna is the absolute truth because, unlike relative truth, he is the truth in all the three phases of eternal time. Time is divided into past, present, and future. Krishna is truth always, past, present, and future. In the material world, everything is being controlled by supreme time in the course of past, present, and future. But before the creation, Krishna was existing. And when there is creation, everything is resting in Krishna. And when this creation is finished, Krishna will remain. Therefore, he is the absolute truth in all circumstances. If there is any truth within this material world, it emanates from the supreme truth, Krishna. If there is any opulence within this material world, the cause of the opulence is Krishna. If there is any reputation within this material world, the cause of the reputation is Krishna. If there is any strength within this material world, the cause of such strength is Krishna. If there is any wisdom and education within the material world, then the cause of such wisdom and education is Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is the source of all relative truths. This material world is composed of 5 principal elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and all such elements are emanations from Krishna. The material scientists accept these 5 primary elements as the cause of the material manifestation, but the elements in their gross and subtle states are produced by Krishna. The living entities who are working within this material world are products of his marginal potency. In the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that the whole manifestation is a combination of 2 kinds of energies of Krishna, the superior energy and the inferior energy. The living entities are the superior energies, and the dead material elements are his inferior energy. In its dormant stage, everything remains in Krishna. Over to you, Shivas Prabhu, to drive it to conclusion for today's reading.
Thank you. The demigods continue to offer their prayers onto the supreme form of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, by analytical study of material manifestation. What is this material manifestation? It is just like a tree. A tree stands on the ground. Similarly, the tree of material manifestation is standing on the ground of material nature. This material manifestation is compared to a tree because a tree is ultimately cut off in due course of time. A tree is called vriksha. Vriksha means that thing which will be ultimately cut off. Therefore, this tree of material manifestation cannot be accepted as the ultimate truth because it's influenced by time. But Krishna's body is eternal. He existed before the material manifestation. He is existing while the material manifestation is continuing. And when it will be dissolved, he will continue to exist. Therefore, only Krishna can be accepted as the absolute truth. The Katha Upanishad also cites this example of the tree of material manifestation standing on the ground of material nature. This tree has 2 kinds of fruits, distress and happiness. Those who are living in the tree of the body are just like 2 birds. One bird is a localized aspect of Krishna known as Paramatma, and the other bird is the living entity. The living entity is eating the fruits of this material manifestation. Sometimes he eats the fruits of happiness, and sometimes he eats the fruits of distress. But the other bird is not interested in eating the fruit of distress or happiness because he is self-satisfied. The Katha Upanishad states that one bird on the tree of the body is eating the fruits, and the other bird is simply witnessing. The roots of this tree extend in 3 directions. This means that the root of the tree is the 3 modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Just as the tree's root expands, so by the association of the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, one expands his duration of material existence. The tastes of the fruits are also of 4 kinds: religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and ultimately liberation. According to the different associations in the 3 modes of material nature, the living entities are tasting different kinds of religiosity, different kinds of economic development, different kinds of sense gratification, and different kinds of liberation. Practically, all material work is performed in ignorance, but because there are 3 qualities Sometimes the quality of ignorance is covered with goodness or passion. The taste of these material fruits is accepted through 5 senses. The 5 sense organs through which knowledge is acquired are subject to 6 kinds of whips: lamentation, illusion, infirmity, death, hunger, and thirst. This material body, or the material manifestation, is covered by 7 layers: skin, muscle, blood, marrow, bone, fat, and semen. The branches of the tree are 8: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. There are 9 gates in this body: the 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 genital, 1 rectum. And there are 10 kinds of internal air passing within the body: prana, apana, udana, pyana, samana, etc. The 2 birds seated in this tree, as explained above, are the living entity and the localized Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma. The root cause of the material manifestation described here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands himself to take charge of the 3 qualities of the material world. Vishnu takes the charge of the mode of goodness, Brahma takes charge of the mode of passion, and Lord Shiva takes charge of the mode of ignorance. Brahma, by the mode of passion, creates this manifestation. Lord Vishnu maintains this manifestation by the mode of goodness, and Lord Shiva annihilates it by the mode of ignorance. The whole creation ultimately rests in the Supreme Lord. He is the cause of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. And when the whole manifestation is dissolved in its subtle form as his energy, it rests within his body. At the present, the demigods prayed, the Supreme Lord Krishna is appearing just for the maintenance of this manifestation. Actually, the Supreme Cause is one, but less intelligent persons, being deluded by the 3 modes of material nature, see that the material world is manifested through different causes. Those who are intelligent can see that cause is one, Krishna. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Paramak Krishna, Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of all causes. Brahma is the deputed agent for creation. Vishnu is the expansion of Krishna for maintenance. And Lord Shiva is the expansion of Krishna for dissolution. Should we continue? It's 8 o'clock.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Srivas Pandit Prabhu, for so well timing. But that's aside. Thank you for reading Krishna book for all of us. Thank you, Shraddha Mataji. That was a pretty meditative reading. And in fact, I found answers to one of my questions in today's reading. So thank you. I would like to thank Monisha and Giridhar for hosting and managing this Zoom session. Sorry. So Prabhu is clapping for both of them. And sorry, we don't have any monitor for questions for this session. We will end now and continue to kirtan, to be led by Monisha is getting ready. So I think she's leading the kirtan. And let me check who is helping her. Is it? Okay, kirtan session to be led by Monisha and Avantika. So please continue on the same Zoom link. And Monisha, would you like to give a brief introduction of yourself, and then Avantika, maybe you can also give your introduction.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, very lightly.
Oh, sorry. Hare Krishna. I'm very excited for this Janmāṣṭamī festival and all of the organizers and hosts. We had such a nice reading session just now by Srivas Pandit Prabhu and Shraddha Mataji. So that's such a great way to lead into this kirtan. Personally, I hope to sing in a proper attitude that we can all surrender in a way to Krishna and get ready for his birth appearance day. Thank you, Prabhu. Avantika, you can also say. Also, we have a team. We also have Srivatsa and Vrinda that are also in this kirtan with us.
Hi Krishna. Yeah, just like Manisha said, we're really excited for this festival and excited to be able to sing for the lordships.
So we will start off with a bhajan, Shri Krishna, Caitanya Prabhu, Jive Doya Kori. Will that be put up?
That's a wrong bhajan. It's Jive Doya.
Doya Kori. Will it be put up or should we?
1 minute.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Okay, can everyone increase their mic inputs, please? Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori Swaparsada Sriya Dhamma Sahavadari Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivadoya Gauri Saparsada Surya Nama Sahavatari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai Gaur Premanande. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai. Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Haribo. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. What a beautiful smile. Thank you. Thank you, Avantika. Thank you, Monisha, for such a beautiful kirtan and the bhajan in the beginning. It was a nice way, I would say, to conclude the day and rest our flights. So we won't fly any night flights. We'll all take rest and join tomorrow morning for the japa session. So thank you all. I would like to thank Prameya especially for coordinating spotlightings. And thank you, Prameya. Very well done. And thank you all to all the participants who have joined us. We'll meet tomorrow, day 2, Janmāṣṭamī. Stay on. Thank you.
Hi, Krishna Ankur Prabhu, can you please give us the overview for tomorrow?
Okay, so for tomorrow, let me open up my calendar. Hare Krishna and Priya Mataji. So for tomorrow, we are starting our morning with Japa session, followed by 7 purposes of ISKCON. That will be the Bhagavatam class topic. Do we have a confirmation of the speaker, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Tomorrow morning confirmation is confirmed by Vaisheshika Prabhu. He will lead us after the Japa session. He will lead us into the 7 purposes of ISKCON.
Okay. Then in the afternoon, we will have a youth jam, which will be broadcasted live on Facebook from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Followed by cooking malpuas with Radha Vallabh Prabhu. It's a live hands-on workshop. I hope you all have received the ingredients. Be prepared to offer tasty malpuas to their lordships tomorrow. Followed by Krishna book reading with Her Grace Raseshwari Leela Mataji and His Grace Shyama Rupa Prabhu. Then at 6:30 p.m. we will have virtual Vrindavan Parikrama Part 1 by His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhuji, followed by Kirtan Sangha to be led by Vrinda and Sri Vatsa. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Ankur Prabhu, and thanks to everyone else, everyone for joining this today. It was a great kickoff. All the workshops, all the kirtan reading, everything was very fantastic. I am so glad that I got to enjoy all the festivities at ISV, and grateful to you, Ankur Prabhu, also doing a very fantastic job of being MC. Thank you all the hosts, moderators, the Q&A team. It was a wonderful, very lively day of festival kickoff. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mataji. Hare Krishna.